Enough is enough.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Indie Wrestling Corner with another episode of Under the Ropes. I'm your host as always, the queen of the indies, Tiffany, and I think it was time for a return. You know, it's been a while. A lot of moves have been made, so welcome back, Nick Wayne.
What's up? How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited that you're here, that you can come back. So much has happened since then. So I love it.
Yes,
so,
very happy to be back here.
Yes. So I see a bunch of people in the chat. What's going on? I'll get to you guys in a little bit. But guys, if you're new here to the Indie Wrestling Corner here, I interview everything independent wrestling, whether it's wrestlers, promoters, referees, backstage. I got you covered. If you guys got questions for Nick, feel free, drop them into the chat. Again, like I said, he was here earlier in January of this year. So you can check out that interview after this one if you didn't watch it before. Yeah, we were talking a little back before we started this podcast. So much has happened. So much. So really, really excited to dig into everything with you. So I don't even know, because I know everybody that's gonna come in here, they're gonna want me to start with the obvious. So I guess let's go there. Let's talk AEW. You know, I know you've been doing people's chats and stuff like that. Talked a little bit about AEW, but you're here. We're doing the podcast, so give us a little bit of the breakdown. What you're feeling. Anything you want to add to it?
So I feel like a lot of the questions I get asked when it comes to AEW is more of when are you going to start and why can't you start now?
Mm-hmm.
So I can start when I turn 18, which will be next July, so about 11 months from now. And the reason being that is just because I have to be 18 to do any type of work for AEW, whether that be Dynamite or Dark or Rampage, any of that. So yeah, from now until next July, kind of could just do all the independents I want, all the international stuff. I'm kind of just free to do whatever right now. So yeah, that answers that question for some who were wondering. But I'm very excited to be able to fulfill that contract once July comes. From now until then, I kind of just want to work to be the best version of myself. Just keep striving and trying to do all these cool things now and just better myself now. So then by the time I do turn 18, it's I can be the best version of Nick Wayne.
Yeah, it's wild. It's so wild. So much has happened. It's so crazy to watch that. I think what was crazy is that this happened, and I remember waking up on Twitter and Twitter lost its shit pretty much, you know? And I was like, oh my God, it was this is so awesome. So, man, it's just nuts. Twitter exploded, Facebook exploded. It was just nice to see and well deserved. And like you said, you still have almost a year. I mean, happy belated birthday, right?
Oh, thank you.
April's in the chat. She goes, my birthday twin. Yes, you guys share the same birthday. And actually, that's my grandma's birthday. I mean, God rest her soul. But so I'm surrounded by good people. So
yes, yeah.
That's how I look at it. I look at it like that. So I'm so excited for you just to watch that and waiting for the clips to come online and just seeing the Twitter little clips on, of the emotion, your mom, to look at your mom, oh, it's so cute. Oh man. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, all right. So our friend Jameis, who I do a podcast with him and Ashley on Ashley's Twitch channel, and we do it on the TWM Plus, TMW Plus. Still new to me, so I'm still new to that. We talk indies and everything like that. So he wanted me to ask you. He goes, if you can talk about it, because he's not sure if you could talk about it. But he said because it hasn't happened before. So he said he'd love to. He's very fascinated to hear, about the AEW contract, what if it entails, for the fact of you being a minor. I know you touched base, that you can't do it till you're 18. So I guess if you can elaborate anything on that you would care to share.
So the things that I can do, the things that I can do from now until I'm 18, I do attend the AEW Dynamites or Rampages or pay-per-views, and it's kind of just like a learning experience, and kind of just like learning the environment of AEW and kind of like the way they do things. Learning TV wrestling, because TV wrestling is different from independent wrestling. You got like commercials. It's on like a national televised network. And kind of just like learning the vibe there and kind of how they do things. So from like now until next July is kind of just like a learning experience from AEW, like them teaching me how they do things there. Yeah.
Do you find that like you have incorporated like a little bit of that into the indies?
Absolutely, yeah. I feel like one that felt like almost identical to like the things I learned at AEW was Ric Flair's like last match. I feel like just like the atmosphere and it being in an arena and having like similar like cameras, and I felt like it felt like AEW to me in a way.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I guess people can find you like when those big shows are going on, like to come say hi.
Yes, yeah.
So if you see him, go say hi, definitely. So
Please,
April said the Funko collection, though. You just made her day.
Oh man.
Yeah, how many Funko Pops you got back there? Don't start counting them.
No. I'd say maybe 100.
Okay.
But the crazy part is every single one of them is a wrestling one. Like there's not one that's non-wrestling.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so you got to put it out into like the universe, because like I know how fans are. A lot of wrestlers have come onto this podcast. Somehow things have been brought up. Things are brought to wrestlers. So put it out there. Is there like a particular pop that you're looking for that you can't find? So maybe like the the podcast universe will bring you one.
Honestly, I want to say I might have all of them.
Wow.
Maybe.
Hey, I was shooting shot for you here. Like that, maybe you can get some pops.
Yeah, I think I have maybe all the wrestling ones, but ones that I do like too are from like the movie It, like the clown and stuff, and like the other characters from the movie. Those look like pretty cool. But yeah, all these ones are all like wrestling ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except there's one actually that so there's like pop number 21 and then it goes to 23. There's no 22. So the one I filled in that place is the Mariner Moose, like the Seattle Mariners baseball team. Yeah, I got that at like a baseball game. So I just put in for the number 22 spot.
Okay. April says we're gonna need the Nick Wayne Funko. So wait, has there been one made of you? I guess is the question first.
Not a custom one that no one's ever made, no. But so I have one custom action figure, not a Funko Pop though, just like a ringside action figure.
Okay. Get on it, people. Get on it. Dave Cole's the man who makes the best pops around. Like, definitely shoot him one.
That'd be crazy. Right?
What's up, Sky? I see you in the chat. Everything Pro Wrestling. Go give him some love. That's one of my favorite AW podcasts going on over there. He says Nick Wayne's been on some amazing matches across the indie scene. So,
thank you so much.
See, so good. Tussie Mania's in the chat, goes, my dude, Nick Wayne.
Yes, sir,
all the love. Captain Dave's in the chat. William, what's going on? I see all you guys. Thank you so much for joining. And share the stream. Get some people in here. Let's get this party started. So, okay. Let's go here because I want to like backtrack. Okay, so if you guys listened to the first podcast with me and Nick, we started talking about opponents that he would love to get into the ring with, and you talked about it. You talked about that you wanted to work Will Ospreay. I remember like clipping because I was so excited that this match finally happened. So you came to New York, that was like unfortunate. Like I know the New York scene, the sports authority sucks. This is why I leave New York to go watch wrestling because wrestling's better outside of New York. So and Joey Janela felt bad and Joey told you to call your shot.
Mhm.
And here you go. You called your shot. Will Ospreay. And I was like, oh man. And it happened. I'm so mad I
Yes.
did not come to the show. But of course I was going to
It's
pay-per-view
okay.
it. You forgive me. You
Mhm.
forgive me. You forgive me. I'm old. I can't like always like get out to like everywhere and drive now. But yeah, so walk us through this whole experience. Like I said, we talked about it on the pod. You know, New York happened. Joey Janela puts it out there for you to call your shot. Did you actually think this was going to happen? You know, and then walk us through the match.
So at the time, I remember it was the night of the World on GCW. I was eating dinner at some diner in New York, and I remember I put out a tweet on like how I unfortunately couldn't attend the show or how I couldn't be a part of the show. And then Joey made that reply of saying, call out whoever you want for spring break and we'll make it happen. And of course, my first thought was Will Ospreay, but I was wondering if I put it down, if it would really happen. And it was Jordan Oliver. He told me, he was like, just do it, bro. And he was like, there's always that chance that it could happen. He was like, just do it. And I was like, all right, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And I did it. And that was the plan for spring break. But then due to like scheduling difficulties, it was not able to happen at spring break, but we were able to make it happen another time. It was June 19th in Rhode Island. And at first I was talking to Brett Lauderdale, the owner of GCW, one day, and he told me, he said, June 19th is your match. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, this is your match. And I was like, is he thinking Will Ospreay? I didn't want to ask, but I was like, I was like, all right, bet, thank you. And I didn't know if it was Will Ospreay or not. And then things started to get announced for the Rhode Island show, and then Will Ospreay got announced for the show, and I was like, this is really real. This is really real. And then one day I just got the notification on my phone saying GCW Wrestling tagged you in a post, and it was the poster of me and Will Ospreay. And my jaw dropped, my heart sunk. I almost started tearing up, but I couldn't believe that this was really happening. I got so like just fired up. I ran out to the living room. I was like, Mom, look, this is really happening. Yeah, it just felt like a moment where I was like, am I in the dream right now? And then the lead up from the day it got announced all the way up till the match, I was just trying to work as hard as humanly possible. Trying to train as much in the ring as I can, be in the gym as much as possible, perform my best on shows. I just wanted to be like the best version of myself right now for Will Ospreay. And going into the match, I remember I woke up in the morning and we had to drive to Rhode Island from New York. And when I woke up in the morning, I instantly got butterflies in my stomach. I was nervous the entire car ride to Rhode Island. I showed up to the Vet Music Hall, and I was even more nervous. People in the locker room at GCW were saying, I've never seen you this nervous before. Like, what's going on? I was definitely putting like a lot of pressure on myself going into that match. But the match then happened, going like it being in the middle of the match, before the match started, after the match happened, the entire time I was just like, is this really real right now? But I think the part where it really hit me was when the bell first rang. Me and Ospreay were standing across the ring from each other. No one was really like moving a muscle. The crowd was chanting GC Dub, holy shit. That's when it kind of hit me, like, this is really happening right now. And that was my favorite match till this day. It'll always hold like a special place in my heart, because my dream in all of wrestling was to wrestle Will. And I've heard stuff in the past about Will, about problems with his body hurting, and him not knowing how much longer he can wrestle for. And once I heard that, it brought me down a little bit. I was like, I really hope I can accomplish this match before he's like done. And then it happened when I was 16.
I know.
So I just think it's like so crazy, and I feel so blessed and like so honored that I have these people around me like Joey, like Brett, to make stuff like this happen, to make like dreams come true, like my literal dream come true. And it's actually in front of me right now. I have this frame of me and Ospreay, the poster signed by both of us. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So yes. My dream in all of wrestling was to wrestle him, and I actually just watched the match a few hours ago. Yeah, my favorite match of all time. Yeah.
This is like one of my favorite like GCWs. Like, I mean, there's so many great GCWs out there, and I know like we'll get deeper into like GCW, but I know like we had to start off with a bang. We had to start off hot with this podcast, like, you know, and I just definitely wanted to talk about like this moment. And I remember seeing somebody was tweeting that nobody's ever seen the Fett building like that jam packed like that for wrestling, and like the charisma, and you know that's why I was like pissed, because I think when I was going to like, okay, I think I can make this trip, it like sold out, and I was like, damn it. I was like, that's okay, that's what pay-per-view is for. So
Yes, yeah.
thank goodness for that, because there was like a lot of locals. I mean, Waves and Curls was there. My boy Dustin Waller was there. He made his debut at GCW. So I was really excited to see. Which okay, that needs the cross. I need you and Dustin Waller to happen. You know, I'm always gonna throw out certain like names with it, but that's definitely one of my matches that I need to see. I know Brandon Kirk put on Twitter too today. He put a little list up, and you're on the list.
Yep, Brandon Kirk. Let me get him.
Let's go, Brandon Kirk. I mean, I'm sure you're on everybody's list if they haven't. So many great names, so many great matches. Everything Pro Wrestling, Conrad, he goes, what are your thoughts on characters in wrestling and character development?
Ooh. I think characters in wrestling are something that's very like special to wrestling, and I feel like it kind of brings that like certain aspect to wrestling. It's like everyone has kind of their own thing, their own type of vibe, their own character that they like to pursue themselves as. When it comes to character development, I feel like everyone is something that they want to be. You know, I feel like nothing is really like, oh, I have to do this, so I guess I'm going to do it. It's kind of something that we all make ourselves. I truly believe in like freedom in like wrestling, of you being able to like pursue who you want to be, and like the character that you want to play as is like, go ahead and do it, you know? So yeah, I feel like that is all something that comes like very natural to wrestlers. It's like whatever they want to be, they will be it. However, like the vibe they want to give off, they'll give off that vibe. Yeah, so I feel like that's something that makes wrestling like very special, is like the characters people play in it, and it's if they really want to be it, they're gonna put like their absolute all into that character that they want to like portray themselves as. So yeah, I feel like it's something very special to wrestling. I love it. I love all of it.
That's good. Teslamania says, best match I ever filmed, Ospreay versus Wayne. See?
Oh, I have so many of his clips like in my phone.
So good, so good. And then Mr. Pro Wrestling got the little blow up, like, you know, brain emoji going on in the chat. What are you, mind blown that I got Nick Wayne on here? Come on. All he needs to know is that I'm obsessed with his bridge. That's it. And then that's it. He come on the podcast. So now we're gonna talk about that, because like we're gonna go back to like a funny story that like happened. So if you guys are subscribed to the channel, I do indie talks where I do a lot of backstage interviews, and Nick was at one of the Sean Henderson shows that I was at, and we were talking, and who else was it that I think it was Anthrax, I think it was, that I was sitting on the chair and we were talking about certain moves. And I remember, like, I showed you Arcadia. I showed you I call it the scissor cut thing. And I remember telling you the story that me and Arcadia have this joke of the scissor cut thing, which it's called It's a Cool Move. So I pop every time, and Arcadia tells me all the time when he wrestles that he was like, I heard you, because I pop every time. So of course we talked, me and Nick, and I was like, well, I love your bridge, and which he already knew, and we were talking about his bridge that he did at Violence and Suffering on the Thursday show. So he was like, I got you. He was like, I'm gonna hit one with Jordan tonight at GCW. So we're in the H2O building. Me and him are talking about this. And then, whatever, we had the show. And then you and Jimmy Lloyd wrestled. Then you came over and you gave me a hug. And I love when all my favorites come and give me hugs, like, before or after the matches. So I appreciate that. Those are moments that mean so much to me. And I know, like, people like tell me, they're like, damn, I want someone to hug me. And I'm like, oh, it just happened. So it's very meaningful to me that you guys do that. So thank you. I know that's up on all my socials. So then we go to GCW after. We go to the Showboat, which is like an hour, right? Like an hour drive to the Showboat after H2O. So we're rushing. And then you have your match with Jordan. And I was with the other Tiff. And shout out to Tiff. Much love to her. So the two Tiffs are causing trouble in the back, screaming. You saw me. And you hit the bridge. I popped. Tiff popped. We're screaming. And then after the match during intermission, I came over to you and you're like, I saw you. Did you see my bridge?
Yeah.
So perfect bridge is my thing.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect
thank you so
bridge.
much. I always try to make sure in like all my matches or almost all my matches, I tried to hit the bridging fisherman suplex. It's like one of my signature moves.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And April's in the chat listening, and she had told me that as like everybody knows, my gimmick is the list of husbands. So I need to start a list of bridges. But it's going to be very hard for me to put it into number form. Yuta is the bar, as I always say. Yuta has one of the most perfect bridges.
Absolutely,
So,
yeah.
But there's like a list, and you are definitely one. Even you and Kylon King need to get into the ring too, because I need bridge for bridge.
All right, we'll do it.
I mean, even you and Blake Christian, you did the double bridge.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. So I think my next thing on this channel is, as Chase Del Monte says from Chaotic Wrestling, is I need to have a toe tutorial. So the next time I see you, you got to give me a tutorial of how you do your perfect bridge.
All right.
We're going to do it. We're going to put it on the channel. So make sure you're subscribed.
Okay.
So, all right. So let me get more love into this chat. Just cool to see an AEW guy on the podcast. Independent wrestling is freaking cool. It's like underground music for wrestling. I agree.
Yes.
I love that.
That's
Robert.
sick. Yeah.
Robert in the chat says, how do you handle being constantly on the go? It seems so intense, like you must be in a car or plane most of the time. How do you manage the intense travel, and what do you do to pass the time?
When it comes to travel, the fastest way to pass time for me is sleeping, honestly. The way I kind of like to go about travel, depending on when the flight is, I feel like 80-90% of the time I have like a really early morning flight. So usually after the show, try to eat some type of food, whether it's go out to a restaurant or get it delivered or take out to wherever we're staying. I try to stay up until the flight. And then once I'm in the flight, I just sleep the entire plane and then wake up and then go to wherever I gotta go. Usually the East Coast to West Coast flights, because I live in Washington. So when I go do the East Coast shows, it's always about a 4 or 5 hour flight. And I'm not very a very big like movie person or like TV show person. So sleeping is like my first thing like I want to do once I get on the plane. So that makes time go by really fast sometimes. Sometimes it feels like I close my eyes and then like next thing I know I'm on the ground in the plane. But yeah, sleeping is what makes time go by fast for me. And pretty much I just try to stay up until the plane, or like if I have a flight, let's say at like 7, I'll wake up at like 5:30. I'll maybe go to sleep at like 3 to get like 2 hours of sleep. When I wake up, I'm just like a zombie and all I want to do is sleep. So once I get on the plane, I just like knock out. Yeah, it's pretty much sleep. But sometimes sometimes you're in a situation like that where I stay up all night until the flight, and the flight is maybe only 2 hours. And then once I land the plane, I gotta wake up and go to the next show and wrestle. So sometimes you be doing matches off of like 2 hours of sleep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, sometimes that's the occasion. But yeah, travel is like, I love traveling. I love just like seeing different parts of the world, different states, different countries. I love seeing like everything. I'm like a very big like sightseer. I love just like sightseeing, like walking around and looking at big buildings and bright lights and stuff like that. I love it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, I love all you guys in the chat. So Robert says, I met Nick at Starcast and he was so kind and appreciative, signed my stiff blade jersey, going to get it
Yes.
framed.
Oh, yes, I remember this dude. Yeah. What's
So-
up, yo? My man.
So awesome. So much. Brad's in the chat. My best friend Brad. And my goddaughter is still up, so she says hi. Hi, Kathy.
Hello.
My little ham. Let's see. David in the chat called you the Bridge King. Yes, I like this. We're gonna give you the title. I love it. All right, let's see what else. Conrad said, Nick Wayne, how did you feel about Brian Alvarez from Wrestling Observer giving you props? I was so happy for you, bro. And then he gives you the pound.
So Brian, Brian has known my dad for like years and years and years. I've known Brian since I was like a very little kid. So I kind of like grew up around Brian and like grew up seeing him wrestle, and like now that he does the Observer and stuff, he goes over all types of wrestling, like anything wrestling related that you want to know about, you can go to the Observer and find it.
Right.
But I feel like Alvarez, he was present for some of my matches, the ones that happened at Defy. He was present for when I got signed to AEW. He's been present for certain matches in Chicago about a year ago. So having kind of Brian like by my side and him like speaking highly of me is something that means the world to me, because he sees so many different types of wrestlers. He sees like every wrestler, and to him to like point out me and like talk about me is just like, I feel so like blessed to have him like talk, like say that type of stuff about me. So yeah, I love Brian. That's my guy, and yeah, very blessed to have him.
I love that. Brad wants to know, and I was going to get to this, so I'm going to give the credit to Brad. When are you getting you and Jordan for the GCW tag titles? Let's freaking go.
Woo! Well, the titles have just changed hands recently. But no matter whose hands they are, me and Jordan always want to try to get to the top of the tag team, the tag team
like division, pretty much. Like
division. That's the word, division. And that being in GCW, the GCW tag team titles. And just announced yesterday or 2 days ago at Art of War Games in Chicago, me and Jordan just got announced to face Aussie Open. So yeah, that's like me and Jordan's biggest match thus far. We've also gotten to share the ring with people like Los Macizos, the SATs, Ninja Mac and Dante. Second Gear crew. So we're kind of just working our way up the ladder right now, trying to get to the very top, and that is the GCW Tag Team Champions. So hopefully soon, I'd love to share the ring with the Briscoes. Me and Jordan and the Briscoes, I feel like would be something very special we could bring to the table. And yeah, so that's kind of me and Jordan's goal right now, is the GCW Tag Team titles.
Yeah, I feel like this is something that the fans want and need. Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to.
We need it. This has been like even like a conversation with me and Brad that we've been talking about it. Like it needs to happen. But we have a whole year, right? Before but I feel like you're still gonna be working the independent scene, right? Like once you go over to like AEW, I feel like you're still gonna like float into the indie scene.
Maybe I kind of hope I love the indies, so like I hope that's like the case. Mm-hmm. But I guess it'll kind of all fold out once I turn 18, and then we'll see like what's up from there. But as of right now, I'm in love with the independents.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's why, like, hey, I'm the queen of the indies. I'm all about the indies. This is why I do these interviews, these podcasts. I am all about the indies. So, but yeah, so guys, make sure you're subscribed to Indie Wrestling Corner. Cheap plug. All right. So you made your debut in England at Progress and then let's go back to this. So tell us about the fans. Tell us about your match. Tell us about what are your favorite dishes that you had over there. Like, give it to us.
So, like I was talking about how I like to go about travel earlier, this was kind of like the same thing. I had my flight to London was an overnight flight. Mm-hmm. So naturally my body will go to sleep at night. So since this is overnight, I kind of just slept through the whole thing. It was, I think, altogether a 12-hour flight.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yes, I went from Seattle to Dublin and then Dublin to London. Um, so yeah, that travel part was easy. Once I arrived, like being in London, because I got to be there for I think 4 or 5 days before the show to kind of just like sightsee around London and whatnot.
Oh, I love that.
It feels like a whole nother world, honestly. Like I feel like I'm in like a movie when I'm there. It's like the buildings are like something you would see in a movie. The sky is like a certain shade of blue where it almost looks like it's like a background, but it's not. It's just the sky there. And a way of like transportation in London is just like bikes, like normal bikes. And I would kind of buy the city bikes, which are only like £2 every 30 minutes. So I would just take one of those bikes and just cruise around London and see all this crazy stuff. But yeah, I love it there. The cars being on the other side of the road kind of like messed with my head a little bit when I was like on the road. I was like, oh God, I'm about to get like hit.
I'm sure that happens to a lot of people that go there.
Yeah, so just like first time like being in like a car that's on the other side of the road, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to crash. Like this looks crazy. But no, like I love it there. I love like the whole atmosphere of London. It's like very cool. The show was also like very awesome. I've seen like a lot of shows and clips and videos of shows at the Electric Ballroom, which is where the Progress show was that I got to be a part of. So being in that building was incredible. The fans are incredible. Yeah, the fans, they love everything there at Progress. They're very like supportive of the wrestlers and everything they do. So yeah, the fans were incredible. That's actually where I got my first custom action figure made of me. This fan, he made that action figure for me. He made like 2 paintings as well that he got me to sign. It was just incredible. But yeah, the fans out there are just so awesome. And I get to go back and see them again. September 18th, I will be back in Progress. And also, when I'm there in the UK, I'll be there with GCW. I'll be doing the GCW show, the TNT show, TNT versus GCW, and then the Progress show at the end of the weekend. So I'm very happy I get to attend Progress again. Yeah, I can't wait to be back there with my England people.
Yes. Favorite food? What was the favorite food over there?
Ooh, a lot of foods I notice are on like kebabs, like the
like the kebabs,
Yes, they have some really good ones out there. I feel like a lot of the time, like the food options were either Italian food or Persian food. I really enjoyed the Persian food, honestly. I think it was lamb for the first time, and I really enjoyed it, honestly.
Oh, okay.
So lamb was pretty cool. I'd probably say that was my favorite. Yeah.
I like chatting when anybody comes on this podcast that like goes anywhere outside of the States, because I always feel like it's a great conversation piece on this podcast. Alec Zane is the one that will always come on this podcast, and it will turn into a half an hour food fest combo with him. And I enjoy the heck out of like when he's in Japan and he's just tweeting all the food, or even his Instagram, and he's posting all the food that he's having. And like, I probably wouldn't touch probably 90% of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I enjoy watching you guys like travel to these places and trying the food compared to what we're used to here.
Yes, yeah.
So that's like my little fun joy of like, never mind the fact of you going and experience whoever you're wrestling out in wherever, but I get the little enjoyment to like watch that, because it's kind of cool, because I don't know if I'll ever get there, or so it's really neat. And you and Alec Zane, actually, we can talk about that too. You and Alec Zane, so I was hyped as hell, because Alec Zane is one of my favorites. He's been back on this podcast like 3 times. I love Zane. Definitely one of my favorites. So yes, talk to him about that, because I remember his face like at the end when he lost.
Yeah. So me and Zane have faced 2 times now. Once being in Ohio for GCW, and the second time recently in Nashville, Tennessee for also GCW. Both times I beat Alec Zane with a roll up. So I think his face, like the second time, the shocked face of me beating him, kind of the same way, like with a roll up, but a different variation of a roll up.
Yeah.
I can't. I want to face him again, and I want to see how the third time plays out. I know he'll be looking out for them roll ups. Yeah, but I love sharing the ring with Alex Zane. I feel like he's just such like a talented person, and he really brings like something out of you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just love being in there. His athleticism is incredible, very like inspiring. The stuff he does, very inspiring to like me and my moveset. So yeah, I love Alex Zane. I've seen Alex Zane stuff for like years. He's done shows like here in Seattle a few years ago. I've seen some of his backyard wrestling stuff. Like I've known Zane for like a minute now, so it's very awesome to get to share the ring with him and call him like one of my brothers.
Yeah, one of the nicest guys around. Like, I definitely love like chat. I miss him. I feel like I haven't seen him either in a while. Like, Zane, come back. Like, come back over here.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while. I think the last time that I saw him at GCW, I think it was like February, I think it was. And I think he had to go somewhere like after his match because I always like chat with him. And I think he was gone because I think everybody told me he skedoodled. I'm like, no, but I get it.
Oh, no.
I was like, I'll catch up to him. So, DM Stevens in the chat, what's going on? How are you? He said, Nick, between you, Billy Starks, and Starboy Charlie, I feel like you all are leading the charge for the next generation of pro wrestling, and all at such a young age. At such a young age, do you feel any pressure leading the charge for the next generation?
Well, first off, thank you so much. That really means the world to me. Starboy and Billy are both like two of my closest friends in professional wrestling. So that really means the world to me. Thank you. And I feel like it does, yes. Just like a lot of people will say that like people like me and Billy and Starboy and Marcus Mathers are all people that are like the future of like professional wrestling. So I feel like having people say that at such like a young age is like, okay, this is what people are kind of expecting, so we have to give that in the years coming, in the years from now, in the decade from now. So yes, I do put pressure on myself, but in a good way. I want to be able to make everyone happy, everyone that like they want to see me become and see me do in the future. I just want to give what they want to see. So yeah, as if I can own up to what people want me to do, then I'll absolutely do it. So yeah, I would say I put pressure on myself, but in the best way possible.
Okay. He has a follow-up for you. He said, having wrestled Billy and Charlie recently, what are your thoughts on them?
They're incredible. They're the best. I just wrestled Starboy 2 weeks ago for GCW Homecoming in Atlantic City, Part 1. We were the very first match on Part 1, so the first match of the entire weekend. My first time ever wrestling Starboy one-on-one, which is crazy. Because I thought when I first started doing GCW that would be a match that people or GCW would do like immediately. And it happened a year later, which is like pretty crazy to me. But at the same time, I'm glad it happened this time because I feel like me and Starboy are both better performers than we were a year ago. So I'm very glad it happened. I absolutely love Starboy. He's the man. And Billy, I worked with Billy a few times in scrambles. I've worked her one-on-one singles action 2 times now. Once being in September of last year for Without a Cause in Everett, Washington. And then a month ago on my birthday, July 10th, I faced her at JCW in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, which that match got a lot of buzz because one, because of the match, and 2, because of this certain thing that was executed in the match. I feel like you know what I'm talking about.
No, I was going to bring it up, so go for it because you knew I was going to touch base with it. So
Yes, yeah. So she recently, one of her like signature moves and most of the time finishing moves, the Joker driver, that move was hit on the hardest part of the ring, which is the apron. That was kind of like the biggest like moment of the match. That kind of move, particularly when it happened, got a lot of explosion online, Twitter especially. Tons of hate comments, tons of positive comments. But yeah, that was talked about for quite quite a minute, but I'm okay. I am still wrestling,
Clearly.
living, walking. Yeah.
Clearly, he's here to tell the tale.
Yeah. But I thought that was incredible and crazy, and I loved all of that just because I feel like it's never been done before. You've seen the Joker driver like executed a bunch of times from Joker himself.
Right.
You've seen it off of ladders, but I think it's never been done before on the ring apron. And not a lot. You don't really see the Joker driver a lot nowadays in wrestling. So I feel like a move that is very renowned for being like dangerous. Seeing it on the hardest part of the ring just brings like another aspect to dangerous.
Yeah, you're nuts.
Yeah. But I'm perfectly fine. I continued the rest of the match. There was no damage done to me from that. So yeah, everything was cool with that spot. That match ended up being like one of like the craziest matches both me and her like have done. We did that on the apron. She did a swanton onto the apron, which I moved out of the way, so she landed on the apron.
Yeah.
I did a running cutter off the apron onto the floor, like just crazy stuff we did in that match. But we definitely went hard. We definitely went in, and I feel like that match was successful. Yeah, even the people that like hated on it and like that spot specifically doesn't really bother me nor Billy. So yeah, until the next time me and her share a ring, it's gonna be crazier than that.
Yeah, some of you guys, like, I've watched it, and even some of the H2O kids, like, I watch some of their matches, and I can tell when they go harder with certain people, and I'm like, oh my god. I was like, I can tell the difference. Like, we're going all in. You guys went all in on this. So
Yes,
kudos. And again, like, he's here, so he's fine, clearly.
Yes.
David said, P.S. a pleasure reffing your match with Billy in Ridgefield Park and Charlie and AC. Keep up the great work. So,
oh, thank you very much, bro. You got all my love. Thank you for all the support, man.
much love. Okay, so I saw Brad says, now that you had your dream match against Will Ospreay, which was fantastic, who's next on the dream match list? All right, call it out on this podcast so that I can be like, he called it out on here.
I have so many like dream matches that I'd still like to accomplish, and a lot of them being in AEW.
Right.
But since I have a year until AEW, things that I like to accomplish dream match wise now, either a match against Marufuji or Amazing Red.
Yes.
Are my two.
Take my money. Just take it. Just take it. Okay? Take it. And do it. Well, yeah, do it in New York. Yeah, please do it in New York. Come to House of Glory. I live like literally like 10 minutes from House of Glory. Do it there because that's where I saw Amazing Red and Will Ospreay. So I would like to come back, and it'll be a very short commute for me. And I will love this. Yes.
Yes, I'd love to. Like Amazing Red is like Amazing Red and Marufuji are two big like inspirations to me in wrestling and the way I do things or the things that I do in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like both guys, their style of wrestling really brought something new to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Like Amazing Red, what he was doing in the early 2000s in TNA was unheard of. And it really inspired a lot of young wrestlers like myself to do the things we do. And Marufuji is a wrestler who I watch probably every day. Just the style he does things, the way he does his matches are just so mind-blowing to me. And him being like such a legend and doing this for decades, it's just, I'd absolutely love to share the ring with him. And he's came to the States. I'm not sure if he's wrestled at House of Glory already, but I know that's coming up soon or already happened. And then he's doing the King of Indies tournament also in the U.S. In a few months from now. So if he's in the U.S. for a little bit of time, I would love to be able to share the ring with him one-on-one for any promotion.
Oh, man. Brad said, I saw your post, that Marufuji's picture earlier. He goes, into my veins. See?
Yes, those are little hints right there. The little picture of Marufuji has a little hint.
Give it to us. Give me. It was funny because I was gonna like bring up like Amazing Red too, because I feel like this is something that needs to happen. And again, like watching even Ospreay like years ago go to like, you know, doing like the New Japan with Ospreay, then even like tag tagging with him and how exciting, you know, it was for him. So like this would be such a great moment. And again, I would love it more if it's here.
Yes.
We're putting it into everybody tweet a House of Glory. Make this happen. Make it happen. Make it happen. So, but all right, let's talk another name here because like we have to talk about it because it's another hot name into the indies right now. Let's talk Mike Bailey. Okay. Like, I'm so glad he's back in the States. He is on a vengeance going on here.
Yes.
Like, oh my God. Like, you know, I got to see him up at Fight Life in Rhode Island. You know, make this happen, Frank. Like, you know, bring Nick Wayne over there too. Just throwing it out there.
I'd love to.
So, but yeah, you guys got to step into the ring at Prestige. Like, so talk about this. Like, again, he's like one of the hottest in the indies right now.
Yes. So Mike Bailey, I share a lot of locker rooms with Speedball, and he is always just the biggest helping hand to anyone and everyone. Mike Bailey, I'm not sure those who follow his social media see that he runs certain classes at his school. He'll run seminars around the world. But just being able to share a locker room with him, has an amazing brain for pro wrestling, and just him being there and him being able to help everyone, the young wrestlers, especially, is just like so like grateful, such a grateful thing that we can have, that we know we can always talk to Speedball whenever we need help with something. If we ever need critiques, you know, Mike Bailey, he's watched your match. If you don't even got to ask him, Speedball, did you watch my match? He watches the entire show.
Wow.
So yeah, an amazing helping hand to everyone in professional wrestling in the locker room. But I did face Speedball for a Prestige versus West Coast Pro show in San Francisco, and that was one of the, like, it was an insane match. He's like everything that you see of Mike Bailey and everything that you would intend of his, like everything he does or you see in the ring, he does in every match. So going into the match, I knew, I was like, oh gosh, there's going to be these moonsault double knees, you know, there's going to be these double knees, and there's going to be a lot of chest kicks. And I was mentally prepared for it going into the day. I was ready to get Speedball Mike Bailey. I didn't want him to go not easy on me. I know Speedball will never go easy on anyone, but I didn't want him to treat me a certain way just because of my age. And he didn't. He gave me Speedball Mike Bailey the same one that he gives everyone else. So I feel like everyone that I talk to that wrestles Speedball, they always walk out with something incredible to say about him. He really pushes everyone to another level when you're out there with him. He recently just wrestled Austin Luke for H2O, and I was there in person to watch it. And I remember talking to Austin after the match and him just being mind blown by the way Mike Bailey does things and the way his matches are, and just the animal he brings out of you in the ring. He's just, I'm so blessed to have Mike Bailey by our sides, and him being that helping hand for us is just, he's the man. I love him.
He's so good. So good. Such a nice person. Love to watch him wrestle. Love seeing him go all over the place. The seminars, like you said, it's amazing. Like, the indies are hot. Like, that's why I always say, like, to people, if like you're not into the mainstream, you know, check out the indies. There's a million different promotions, and that's what we do at the Talk Indies podcast over there too. We literally, like, I mean, I'm in New York, Jameis is in Florida, and Ashley's in Texas, and we each like cover like kind of like our region of wrestling, and it's just like mind blowing that an hour is not enough for us to tell everything that's coming up. You know, it's impossible to watch everything, and I try everything that I can do to keep up with the indie wrestling, but there's a little bit of everything for everybody, right? So So, all right, let's go into some of these fan tweets. I know we already answered this question, so much love to Matt Nick. We talked about the dream matches. Everything Pro Wrestling also, he had talked about, like, you know, who else you wanted to, you know, some name. We talked a little bit about who you want to still work in the independent scene. But one of these questions is great. Are there any names on the independent scene that you would suggest people keep an eye out for?
I ain't going forever, honestly.
Give some love, you know, to these people.
People off the top of my head, names to look out for. Titus Alexander is taking over the West Coast right now. He just won the West Coast Cup a few nights ago. I faced him, and he took me out in the tournament in the semifinals. He's the man. I feel like he's one to really look out for these days. He's doing some really awesome things. He also faced Will Ospreay a few weeks before I did. Yeah, he's the man. Definitely look out for Titus. Of course, people like Starboy, like Billy Starks, Marcus Mathers, Austin Luke, Reed Walker.
Yeah.
I feel like Reed Walker is like such a talented wrestler. I'd love to share the ring with him. And I just feel like when I see him, he's just so like talented. I love those like H2O kids. I really do like them. Speedball, obviously, but everyone knows Speedball. Sandra Moon is doing a lot in independent wrestling nowadays. So she's definitely one to look out for. I've gotten to share the ring with her a few times as well. Singles action twice before. Very talented professional wrestler. I think she is going to shock the world in professional wrestling. Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, we got some names in here. Joe Lando. Oh my God, we can talk about that too. Like you just had a banger.
Yes. Let me put Joe Lando on the list too.
Yes.
I'll put Lando on the list.
Banger. He's like 18, right? That's how old he is. I think he's like.
I think he's 22.
Is he?
Honestly.
Why did somebody tell me he was like 18? Because I was like, how old is this kid? I was like, and they're like 18. I'm like, okay. I was like, so I'm running with that. Okay. So all right. He's like another one that I was like, damn, banger. And like, I think when I chimed into the GCW, so I missed like the first few matches. So I know you saw I tweeted at you like the next day because I went back to go watch your match and Billy's match because I was a little behind. So I was like, oh man, this is banger. So if you haven't watched that, go back. Go watch GCW. Go watch this match. It was amazing. So
thank you.
So good. Matt's in the chat said, Nick, it's Matt, Tim Flower's son. How are you doing?
Oh, what's up, Matt? Great to see you, bro. I'm great. Please tell the family hi, and then I love them.
Oh, I love that everybody's like dropping names in the chat. Brad said Axton Ray. That's another one.
Yes.
So
beast.
good. So good.
He's a beast. One of the strongest people I've ever met is Axton Ray.
So nice.
Absolutely.
Super.
I wrestled him in Evansville, Indiana. When GCW ran the Evansville Coliseum, and I got to work Axton one-on-one. One of the strongest people I've ever met, and just so talented as well. It's like he does so many innovative things in the ring that you've never seen in wrestling before. Yeah, Axton,
so
incredible.
good. He's so good. He's so good. Also, Alec Price. How can we forget Alec Price here?
The Buster. Alec Price, another one of like my closest friends in wrestling. I absolutely love Alec Price. Put Alec Price on the list too. Put him on the top of the list.
Yes.
Alec Price is the man. Yeah.
Yes.
I've gotten to work with him once before for VXS, Richfield Park, New Jersey. But I absolutely love to do it again. He's the man.
Oh,
yes.
man, so good. Love him. A lot of these names you guys seen on the podcast. Alex been on here. Maybe you guys will understand me and Alex conversation between the two thick accents between the New York and the Boston accent. It was really funny. But I always say that people probably didn't understand that, conversation at all. Brad says, look out for Nick Xander out at FSW in Vegas. He's on year 2 and he's also really good. So
can I put a few other names on the list?
Go for it. Give the love. We're spreading love.
Yes, my mind is now like going. Few other young talents I feel like are ones to look out for. Hunter Drake is one.
Oh my God.
Jackson Drake is another one. Jay Malachi is another one. There's one out in the UK. His name's Robbie X. He is the one who I faced my first time at Progress. Incredible talent. He's just like, he really defies gravity, in my opinion. I was watching this match and I was like, how does this dude move like that? Like, just like floats in the air. It's just insane. So yeah, Robbie is another one. Yeah, just off the top of my head, I was thinking of those guys. So yeah.
Drake Brothers are good. I just saw them live at NFW recently, and they wrestled Black and Yellow upstate New York. So that was good. So definitely check that out on IWTV. You can go view it.
Throw Dylan McKay on that list.
Yes, too. My boy.
Yeah.
That's my boy. That's
Straight
my boy.
edge ledge.
Everybody
Yeah.
knows that's my boy. I love him. I love him to death. So, it's endless. It's endless. So that's why we do these podcasts, so you people can know. So check that out. Dylan was just on a couple of weeks ago, so you can check it out with, that. So, all right. So, where we got here? Okay, did I miss one of the? Okay, here, fan tweet XGW. If he could make a trio in AEW, who would be his two partners who aren't in a group already? Ooh.
I feel like a group of like 3, so including myself, so me and 2 others that I feel like would just be like a crazy high flying tag team.
Yes.
Would be me, Dante Martin, and Ray Phoenix.
Yes.
I feel like would be crazy. Yeah.
I like that.
Either that one, or me, Daniel Garcia, and Daniel Bryan.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how those 2 would be on a team together. Probably not good. I'd have to be the one to split things apart. But I feel like those 2 are just like, I feel like those 2 are just on like another level right now. I feel like they're like 2 of the most, especially when they wrestle each other, like the most talked about thing in pro wrestling right now.
Yeah. Well, maybe by next year.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Maybe by next year, they'll figure it out. Baby, and then you can join, and we can go for the trio belts pretty much. That would be cool. I'm with this. So I'm looking. Oh, Ninja Mac got thrown into the shuffle here. You guys are just throwing a bunch of names. Thank you very much.
Ninja Mac.
David in the chat says, completely random one. I'd love to see Nick versus Royce Chambers from Australia once he comes back to wrestling. Okay.
Woo! I love those. Like Australian wrestling, I feel like it's so like on like a like someone was saying like how independent wrestling is like the underground, like was underground music, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I feel like that's like Australian wrestling is like the same thing. They're like on an underground level, but they're so good, dude.
They are.
Yes.
We got to shout out our boy Joel Bateman, DMDU. We love you over there. So we got
Joel
the mate.
Bateman.
That's the mate. Let's see. April has a question. Wait, it just like popped on me. Okay, here. Is there anyone on the AEW roster you're excited to wrestle?
Oh yeah. Well, I want to wrestle everybody. But top of the list, I feel like Kenny Omega, Daniel Bryan, Ray Phoenix, Pac, Daniel Garcia, Eddie Kingston, John Moxley.
Oh, Yuta. Why is that Yuta thrown
Yuta.
in here?
Yes.
Bridge
Yuta.
versus Bridge. Come on.
I just want to wrestle everybody, honestly. I want to be able to share the ring with everyone in there at least once.
Oh man, I'm here for Yuta. Like I'm sure wherever it is that when you get into the ring with Yuta, you'll hear me. Wherever you are. If you're in California, you'll hear me from New York. If you're in Florida, you'll hear me from New York. You're just gonna hear it. You're just gonna hear it.
All right.
So just listen for the pop. Just listen for
Okay. I definitely will. I'll keep my ears open.
Yeah, he knows. He knows the deal. Okay, pre-match and post-match snack.
Woo! Pre-match, peach rings. Peach rings really get me like fired up. I don't know what it is, but they get me really energized. Peach rings and Pedialyte to keep me like hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
After match, I feel like pizza is always just sounds like so great after a match. I don't know, pizza or tacos or Taco Bell.
Oh well, it is Tuesday, so Taco Tuesday. So.
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. All right, we're out. Bye, guys. See you later. Well, let's invite Alex Zane with us, too. We'll go have some tacos, So he's got the hookup.
Yeah.
He's got the hookup. Well, I have 2 final questions for you. If you guys have anything else, please feel free. Drop it into the chat. So, all right. So, any fun road trip stories?
Ooh. Road trip Stories. This isn't really like a story, but this is just like an elite car ride right here. It was a car between me, Alec Price, Cole Radrick, and Jordan Oliver. We did that from we went from Detroit to St. Louis to Indiana, back to St. Louis. Us four, that car ride was elite. If I could do that car ride everywhere, I would do it. Like, that car was just elite. Stories in particular, though, there was one time from where were we? From Ohio to Detroit, I got to share a car with me, Jordan Oliver, and Alex Shelley.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Shelley, being like a legend to the sport and doing this for like 20 years, just to be able to sit under his learning tree for 5 hours in a car, I think was something that I could like never let go of. Me and Jordan, I remember us being in the back seat, being like on the edge of the car seats, just like listening to Shelley for hours and just being so like mesmerized by the things he was saying. Like, this is so like, we just felt like so blessed. And I remember when me and Jordan got dropped off at the hotel, we were just talking for hours, like, oh dude, when he said this, it was like, this is so crazy. But just being able to sit under the learning tree of someone like Alex Shelley, I feel like I was just like so blessed to have had that honor to share those hours with him and share that time with him. Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. Let me see in the chat. Okay, so pizzas and tacos. That's funny. Okay, Robert says, what was it like being part of Ric Flair's last match? So many huge figures in wrestling there. Have any awesome encounters? And Matt was like, how was Ric Flair's last match?
So I remember when we drove up to the arena, I got so scared instantly. And I remember I walked into the arena. I like went down like a few steps, went to my left, took a few more steps, and there was this big opening, and it was just the ring and spotlights on the ring and just so many seats around the arena. And I was like, my jaw dropped, and I was like, oh my goodness, this was huge. So at the time, my biggest show I ever did was GCW Art of War last year, and it was 1,800 people that attended that show. This show was 8,000 people that attended this one. So I was like, oh my goodness, like, this is crazy. So very nervous the entire time I was there. Like I said earlier, it felt like I was like at like an AEW show. So it just felt like so much pressure being there and like seeing like how professional it was there, and just like the locker room of people I was in there with was just like so crazy to look around and be like, man, there's like so many talented people and so many legends in this locker room. And interactions I had, this one's crazy. So I remember before my match, I'm standing there in this like they call it the tunnel. It's like right before the entranceway where the production is and all stuff like that. And I remember I'm standing there, I'm looking down at the ground at my feet, and I'm like pacing, kind of jumping around. And I remember once I stopped pacing, I was kind of just standing still, looking down at my feet, thinking, like getting into the mindset. And I remember I looked up, I looked back down, and I looked back up, and Undertaker was in front of me, like less than 2 feet away from me. And I remember like it took me a second to be like, is this the Undertaker? Like, this was my first time seeing Taker like at the show. And I was like, oh my goodness. So having him be there was just like insane, because I didn't know he was there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know he was going to be there. So just like looking up before my match and seeing Undertaker just like sitting there chilling, I was like, is this real? Like, is this really real? And then I did my match, which was like the energy of being in front of like that many people and inside of an arena was just something like I've never felt before. And it was just like walking down like that ramp and coming out of that entryway and like having like that huge Titantron behind me. It was just like it just felt so crazy. Like I felt like head over heels. Like this was like I was on cloud nine that entire time. Um, so yeah, very blessed I got to be a part of that show, be a part of Ric Flair's last match. Like such a legend that Ric Flair is, like the best. Um, so very blessed I got to be a part of that show. And I remember when I came back from the match, there was a bunch of people. There's like one big monitor set up in the back, and everyone's watching the monitor. And I remember as I'm shuffling through people, Ray and Dominic Mysterio were there, and I was like, "Are you sure this is real? Like I just saw Undertaker, and now I see Rey Mysterio. I'm like, is this real?" But yeah, it was just so crazy to like be in an atmosphere with those people and like be in an atmosphere for an occasion that was so special, like Rick's last match. So yeah, something that I will never let go of or take for granted.
Oh, I love that. I love hearing like stories like that, and you're in it. You're so in
Yes,
it.
yeah.
Like, oh man, it's so exciting. So I love to see like the photos. I know even like Marcus and Luke, Austin, Luke, they got the photo with Ric Flair. They were like posting that up. It's so cool to like see these things, like you guys are experiencing, like you're here, you're backstage, like it's gonna be you, and like I mean it is you, pretty much, and like we'll see you later on the bigger screen. So I'm so excited, like I'm so excited for you. So great.
God, thank you so much.
All right, so again, if anybody has anything else, drop it in the chat. My final question is, I mean, I always like to end my podcast off on a positive. Again, like there's a lot of people that, a lot of wrestlers listen to this podcast. A lot of people, like maybe they want to get into wrestling, or maybe they're already training. We have a lot of those people that listen to those podcasts. So again, you're seasoned now since from like the last time you were on this podcast. So anything new that you can elaborate on, like, to give that advice for anybody?
I feel like one big one is like consistency is like really key. Um, consistency and kind of finding out who you really are on your own. I feel like I'm like just now starting to kind of like, I know I say this now, but I know like years from now I'll look back on it and be like, nah, there's no way. But I feel like right now I'm kind of really like finding out like who I really am, and I just feel like that's something that kind of comes like naturally, you know. And like what I was saying about consistency is like I feel like when you train a certain amount of days a week, when you do that every week for months, for years, and even if you put in days that you're still training, but days that aren't specifically training days, putting in the extra work, I feel like it's just like so important and can really take you like miles, you know what I mean? Getting to go like attend any seminar you can, to be open ears, to listen to anyone you can. I think just like hearing so much advice from so many different people is what you take from it. When you hear different advice from multiple different people, you take what you want from it and you make that into yours. And I feel like also being inspired by certain wrestlers, you take things that you love from specific wrestlers and you put them in one, and that is you. So I feel like it's kind of all just like, it's all you. You know what I mean? It's like whatever you want to per se yourself as. We were talking about characters earlier. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to be, however you want to give yourself off to the people, it's all you control all of that, and it's all gonna come naturally as well. Yeah, I feel like consistency, hard work, staying motivated, and one big thing is not letting like other people's thoughts or opinions like get to you. You know what I mean? I still do. In school, people judge me almost every day for wrestling. Say it's fake, it's not real, everything's pre-planned, none of it's real, and like the fakes, like the falls are fake and stuff like that. Or I come to school with marks on my face or like limping, and they say it's not really real, like you're just doing that for an act. I'm like, why am I acting? Why would I be acting at school? You know what I mean? But just hearing negative thoughts like almost every day, I would take their negative thoughts and use it as motivation to become better, to one day prove those people wrong, and to show them their thoughts boosted me to become better. And yeah, just don't let no one's thoughts really get to you. You know what I mean? Just use that to prove them wrong one day. So one day they'll look at you, one day they'll be fans of you, you know, and then they'll be like, wow, maybe this guy, maybe what I said wasn't true. Like, this person really is something. And, you know, so I just feel like always having a positive mindset and never letting anyone negatively affect you.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's great advice. That's why I said, I was like, you know, you're more seasoned now. Like, you know, bring it on. Like, I'm telling you, like, with all the students, even students that I talk to that are training, that are looking to start into it, I have those phone conversations with a bunch of people, and like, oh, like, you know, I want to give up, or I hear this or that or whatever. So it's like, stay positive. I mean, that's why, like, you know, I'm a very positive person. So, and I see,
Yeah.
I see Alex in the chat, and he's marking out in the chat. He went, "Holy shit, Tiff, you got Nick Wayne." This isn't the first time Nick Wayne's been on this podcast, Alex. Like, he goes, "I can't believe it's the young goat, brother. I'm almost 30, and you're one of my heroes."
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for real. Another thing I'd like to add to that is always make sure to cut out some time of your day or your week for yourself. Something that I've been doing recently is like, I'll wake up every morning and I'll do DDP yoga first thing in the morning to like get my mind right, to get my body right. I wake up in the morning and like, you don't really want to move at first, you know, and like wrestling a bunch is like, you wake up and your body is tight. It's like, you don't want to move. You just want to lay in bed all day. But getting up and like stretching out, doing mobility stuff, waking up my body is like something that I've recently started doing and adding to my routine to help myself out and to get my day started. Or just doing things that help you like free your mind, you know, like recently, last time I was in Atlantic City, after the shows, I would go down to the beach at night. There's like little to nobody there at the beach, and just sitting there and listening to waves or watching waves, it like really frees your mind, you know, and that's taking time out of your day to help out yourself. So just remember that like at the end of the day, it's like you are like most important, you know, you got to take care of yourself as well. So just taking time out of your day to positively help yourself, for doing anything that can help you, whether that be stuff for your mindset, for your body, stuff for job, for real life, for family. Just always take that time out of your day to help yourself and better yourself. Or writing, even writing too, like writing about anything, just like letting your thoughts out onto a piece of paper, like any way to like reflect is like something very important for you and your mind and your everything. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Great, good advice. Let me see. There's more. Matt says, "Me and Tim have been watching you on GCW." AT says, "Nick, you got this. You got this. You got this."
Oh, thank you, bro.
Conrad says, they get to us every day. Movies aren't real. TV shows aren't real. We want to get lost in the performance. You're right. DM Steven says, "God bless you, Nick Wayne."
God bless you, man.
Conrad says, "Respect the grind." And April says,
Absolutely.
"Man, F those kids."
Nah, for real.
You guys are funny. And my camera's being an ass. Let me fix this camera. All right, here we go. But yeah, no, I mean, so awesome. I'm so excited for you. It's, you know, it's been a pleasure. Like, really, it really has. I love having you come back, chat here with me. I love seeing you when I come to Jersey. I know I've been avoiding. I told him earlier. I was like, he hasn't seen me in a while because I've been avoiding the traffic to go to Jersey, because New York with all their construction that's going on. But you'll see me soon. You'll definitely see me soon. You know, but yeah, I mean, well, we still got you in the indies for at least a year. So definitely go see him, go support him. So let's talk about, again, what you got coming up. I know we touched base earlier, but here it is. We got a couple of flyers up here. So GC Dub, September 3rd. What's coming up? You and Jordan against the Aussie Open. I'm looking forward to this. What else do we got here? So we got Thursday, the September 15th. He says Supreme Extreme. It's going to be fun. Do you have an opponent out there yet or not yet?
I'm not sure for that one yet, but that's kind of like the UK excursion tour that we got going on that weekend. Yeah.
Okay, and then on September 16th, you and Joey Janela. That should be fun.
Yes. Part 2.
Fun. Yes, let's go. So in Liverpool, definitely check that out on Fight TV. progress on the 18. You are busy, man. You are busy, busy bee. So I love this handshakes and handshakes and cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Very cute, very cute. And then Violence and Suffering, Thursday, September 22nd. So awful things. So really, really awesome. So yeah, so tell everybody, if they haven't you should be following him. Like, go follow him if you're not following him. So tell everybody again, like, socials, merch, all that fun stuff, where they can get it.
So social media, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the Nick Wayne. Merchandise at stiffbladeapparel.com. You can buy things like t-shirts, sweatshirts, baseball jerseys, hats, sweatpants, anything you can think of. Stiff Blade's probably got it. Nick Wayne stuff on Stiff Blade, t-shirts, sweatshirts, baseball jerseys, stickers. That's where you can support me and my merchandise. If you see me live and in person, I will most likely have merchandise then as well, and it will be out. T-shirts, stickers, 8x10s, pins, magnets, all those types of stuff, and new merch coming soon. And yeah, thank you guys for all the support. Thank you guys for tuning into this interview.
Yeah.
I love all of you. Your support means the world to me and really boosts me to keep going and bettering myself every day. So it's you guys that are keeping me going. So I really love you guys.
Yes.
So much.
Buy the merch, buy all the stuff. I have his pins. I have a little pin collection going on the side over here. So I have his cute little pin. I think it's adorable. You need to make slam buddies now, because I know my goddaughter needs one.
Yes, when I was saying more merch coming soon, that is one of them. Yeah.
My goddaughter needs one. Okay, like the holidays are coming. Okay, so it's like Christmas time, whatever. Right. You know, like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Brad says Kathy and I have his jerseys. I know. I saw the photo, the matching jerseys. Too cute. Brad wants to know: are you coming to JCW show on September 10th?
Yes. I will be there.
I will be at ICW. What the heck? Can we figure out how to clone me? If we can figure out how to clone me, I can make both shows. Like, I feel like if anybody knows how to do that, like, because I had already said I was going to go to ICW way in advance. So Paula's in the chat. What's up, Paula? She goes, Aussie Open match is going to be a banger. So
I can't wait. Can't wait.
Yes. And Matt says he hopes to see you again. So,
yes,
oh,
I'll
man.
see you.
So you're going to have to, like, come back, like, again, eventually, like, you know, before you come over to AEW, we can chat and all the, so, like, when you have your match with Amazing Red, that's when you need to come back.
All right, I'll be back. Promise, I'll be back.
He'll be back. So, but again, always a pleasure. You know, I love seeing you. I can't wait to see what the rest of the year brings for you. And next year, I'm excited for your journey with AEW. Like, keep killing those bridges. I can't wait for the tutorial. Tutorial. So, but yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to the podcast as well. I love you so much. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, all that fun stuff. The audio listeners, thank you for tuning on in too. So much love. Tomorrow, Gary J will be onto the podcast, and we're going to talk about his insane chops.
Yeah.
Yeah, careful. Don't go near Gary J. We're going to protect you.
All right.
With the chops. We're gonna protect you from the chops. But yeah, so Nick, we'll see you soon. Hopefully we'll get some photos and all that fun stuff. But
yes, I hope to see you soon as well.
Yeah, so guys, thanks again so much. You guys